Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Vidyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhetamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti. We are studying the symbolism of Ganesha, representing the path as well as the goal. Perfect picturization. Now, description always should be as complete as possible. If you leave any description halfway, it can lead to a misunderstanding. Say a person were to say, the driver sits in the front, passengers sit in the back. It goes very fast. And there is one wheel in the front and two wheels in the side. What I'm referring to, say, may say auto. No, I'm referring to an aircraft. Then I have to add one more factor, saying that it flies. Then you understand, yes, it is aircraft. Because in auto also the driver sits in the front, the passengers sit in the back. Now, there also you find that they're going very fast. This also goes very fast. And this auto also has one wheel in the front and two wheels in the side. The same way we find here also. But one more additional information should be given. Only then it is complete. Otherwise, there is a possibility of misunderstanding. Similarly, the description with reference to human perfection. What is possibility? What is this human perfection? Needs as complete as possible. That is why we have very many gods describing that human perfection from very many angles, through so many associated ideas. It's all symbolism is nothing but thought association. It works in the principle of thought association. Now, if the thought association is not there, just to holding that has no meaning. It should have that association. Like when you have the picture of your father, mother, or your beloved, your child, you should have the thought of that person. Without the thought of the person, without the memory of the person, just holding that picture has no meaning. It's just a piece of paper. Yeah, glossy paper. That's about it. There's no meaning to it. So similarly here, now when you have this symbolism of this idols work on the concept, this principle of thought association. So we saw that the description of Ganesha, beautiful picturization of him, gives us an idea of what is perfection in a human. What is his inner state? What is the condition of a perfect human being? We get that very clearly. Ganesha symbols, this picture symbolizes the vastness of his wisdom, how he attained that wisdom through listening. The mark of wisdom is what? The trunk protruding, the sharpness of the gross intellect as well as subtle intellect. Gross intellect essentially means your penetrative capacity to understand something which is not obvious. That's called intellect. Don't take it only to mean, your analytical ability. Not just your analytical ability. Your ability to see something which is not obvious. That capacity is called intellect. It's not visible. Like the scriptures give a beautiful example. Okay. When you see these ladies, nowadays you can't see. You have to see, you have to go to village. In the villages, when you go, right, when you see those ladies, they would have plaited their hair. When you see that, you see only two strings going crisscrossing. But if ask them, they say there are three. But what you see is only two. But what you understand is there are three. Where is the third one? Is it hidden? Is it behind? Is it hidden somewhere else? It's not hidden. It's there. Because all three strings keep moving in a particular pattern. That's how they play their hair. The same way, when you see in life, there are things which are not obvious. But it's not that it is hidden also. That's what in the Gita, he calls it as Raja Guhya, he says. This is a royal secret. Where is the third string? Is a royal secret. What is royal about it? It is so visible, but still you cannot see third one. You see only two. A fascinating example. See, to understand what is intellect. Remember, nowadays people are not doing it. So now it's all, open. That means no intellect. That's all it means. All open means what? There's nothing to penetrate. I'm just joking, huh? Okay. Nowadays, you can't even say things, casual. Right. So, be careful. Now, intellect, if you can penetrate and understand within the world, that is called a gross intellect. If you can penetrate and understand something beyond the world, that's called subtle intellect. A man of wisdom, perfection in human is to have a sharp, powerful gross intellect, also powerful subtle intellect. Now, when I say gross intellect, doesn't mean you take him to, the nuclear physics class. He can understand nuclear physics. It's not like that, please. And immediately people think that's intelligence. You see, that needs training. That's not what we are referring to. You need that, prepare, training in that particular subject. Otherwise, you can't understand. I'm not talking about your understanding ability. You see, there's a subtle difference there between what is intellect and what is intelligence. You see, intellect is your ability to apply. That's it. In which field you apply will vary. How much you are planning to apply, that all those things varies. That's not our point here. We are only discussing with reference to your ability to apply. If you apply, you get it. A person who has that strong intellect, powerful intellect, that is a human, perfect human, is one who has. Now, in the world, we see either people having a strong gross intellect, lacking subtle intellect, or subtle intellect is there, gross intellect is not there. That is the problem, issue. Is the trunk of an elephant can function a subtle operation, fine operation of picking a coin from the floor to uprooting a tree. Both this trunk has the ability to do. Therefore, we say this perfection is there in Ganesha, meaning representing that perfection that we are supposed to achieve, and also gives us the idea of how we can attain it. To get that perfection, what should I do, sir? Now you can't say I'm going to cut the trunk and fix it. That will not happen. You have to start from the beginning. What is that you have to do, sir? Listen. Shravanam. Big ears. That's the starting point. Then you see in Ganesha, you'll find the most precious one for an elephant. See, every animal is proud about certain, one aspect of it. The lion is proud about one thing. Peacock is proud about another thing. The deer is proud about another thing. What is that the elephant is so proud about? Is a tusk. It will hold the tusk, very carefully. It keeps sharpens. It will go on sharpening it. The elephant. It wants to make the tusk, beautiful. In Ganesha, you'll find one tusk broken. There's only one side. Even the houses, when you go, right, you'll find, the sofa they keep, the side table they have, everything you will see, there is a pair. They will never remove that pair. There are two, means they'll keep those things together. It should be like that. Only then it looks nice. Otherwise, it doesn't look nice. To keep only one, it doesn't look nice actually. You should have both. There's a 3-seater and 2 single-seaters. It should be there. Or else, both the single-seater should be removed. There's only one 3-seater, full stop. You see that? Either you have 2 single-seaters or no single-seater. You can't have one single-seater and another one 3-seater. It doesn't look nice. You see, for everything, we have 2 things. The entrance also, they have, things hanging. They'll have 2 things hanging in the 2 sides of the door. Now, if they would not keep only one side hanging, other side empty, it looks, odd. Right. Now, you see in Ganesha, it looks odd actually. If you add both the tusks, it is what he is proud about. Also, that is normal to see, to have, 2 sides. You have to make it center, put it in the center, some alignment. For any alignment, you need those 2 things to be there. If it is not there, it looks little off. Now in Ganesha, you find he has broken one tusk and he is standing there with only one tusk. Hey, how did that happen? There are two aspects I've told you. All this story, there is a story part of it for those who are in the preliminary stages of spiritual growth, story part. Or okay, devotional type. You can put it as, even stop calling it as preliminary, devotional type of people, emotional people. And then there is an intellectual group. To an intellectual group, they see it in one way. To an emotional group, they see it in another way. To an emotional group, they need stories. Without a storyline, they cannot. And today, world has turned into total story only. You can see all this TED Talks. I don't know how many of you have seen TED Talks. No matter what the topic is, the fellow will start from a story. It doesn't matter. He may be talking about, mathematical formulas, but he has to start from a story only. Only then people can connect. Otherwise, the audience cannot connect. That has become a unwritten norm. Now, anywhere you start, you have to start from a story only. Even meetings that you have where you have to give a presentation with facts and figures about your project, you have to tell a story first. Only then you will get, when the venture capitalist will give money to you. Why? What does story got to do with the quality of your product or your findings? Nothing. Have to tell a story. Why? Because people can connect to that easy. The story goes is what? Why he broke the tusk. The story is this. The story is this Vyasa has mentally he had compiled the entire story of Mahabharata. Right. Now, if he has to sit and write, he will lose the flow. And once it starts, he doesn't want to miss any details. So he has to narrate that story, and someone should be writing it as he is narrating it. And it's a humongous task. Scribes we have. So he wanted to appoint a scribe. So they call, he asked Brahma who I can approach. Brahma said, the best person I can think of is Ganesha. Go and ask him. If he is willing to be your scribe, best. You can't get a better one. No. Because he would compile that shloka, at such speed. They speak so fast. Some of them have that thing. Some of the speakers also, some of them speak very slow. They give pauses. Enough time is given to you, this, and all that. There is another way of talking. So fast they speak. Before you can understand, they have already gone far off. Like that. There's another group. Now, Vyasa is Vishala Buddhi, this man. He has a vast intellect. So, he would compile shlokas in such speed, not speaking, not constructing sentences. When you talk, you are just constructing sentences. Now, here, he is compiling shlokas, poetry. He is so fast. Now, people will not be able to come to his speed, match the speed of Vyasa. So, Brahma recommended go and check with Ganesha. Why he recommended Ganesha is because he is the master of letters. Like in the old movies you would have seen, the 60s, 70s, you would see movie. The heroine's father will be running a big business. He will have a steno. Most of them will be Anglo-Indians. They will have. Why? Because only they know English. This fellow doesn't know English. Even if he makes mistakes, they will correct and write it. So they are, they have better language command. So the scribe, he needs to have that command in the language. They can't afford, even if the boss makes certain mistakes, grammatical errors, they can correct it and make it for it, so that the letter goes appropriately. Same way here, they say Ganesha. That's why he is called Ganesha. Isha means Lord. Gana, Lord of Gana. Gana means in Sanskrit, the alphabets are there. You see, they are all put in a compartment, in a particular sound. Compartments are there. A very scientific language. This is because any articulate sound possible from a human mouth, there is a letter for it. You see, that is why, if you know the alphabets here, the script, you can read any text. There is no necessity for it. That's not the case when it comes to English. You see, what you write and what you pronounce is not the same. The pronunciation is very different from what you write, because there are rules there. It's not that arbitration, please. I thought it is arbitration initially. They said, no, there are rules for it. There are grammar rules where at times that sound has to take a different form. At times that sound goes silent. Now, if it is silent, why do you have to write there? If you are not going to say, why do you write it? There are rules there. That's why it is more complex. Now, Sanskrit is not a complex language. It's very simple language. Any sound that you can create, there is a letter for it. It is all that you need to learn is only the letters. And those letters are grouped in segments. That group is called a Gana. Ka Gana, Cha Gana, say. That these are all grammar. You don't need to worry about all these things. Now, what is that Gana? Means the group of letters. It's called a Gana. And he is the Lord of those Ganas. Means he is the Lord of the letters. The best scribe you can ever have. So when Vyasa approached Ganesha, he immediately agreed. I'm glad I would write. But there is a problem. The problem is, if he starts writing, he cannot stop. You see, that is his problem. If he starts, means he will not stop. If he stops, means he will not start. This is Ganesha problem. So he puts a condition to Vyasa. Look here, you should compile your shlokas to the speed of me writing. And Vyasa put a counter condition to him, that you should write things that you understand. If you don't understand, you should not write. This is his counter condition to him. Both of them agreed, yes. So what Vyasa would do is, in every 1000 shlokas, Vyasa would compile one knotted shloka. It will have, apparently it will mean one thing, but it is communicating something else. And Ganesha will take a second. He will wait for a second to understand what is that. In that 1 second, in that fraction of a second, Vyasa would have compiled another 1000 shlokas mentally. Next 1000 is come, he is ready. When he wants to do it, immediately he'll create one more. In Mahabharata study, you should do, not now, right? What is that shloka and all, Therefore, they say there are supposed to be about 1008, such not shlokas are there. In that one shloka comes in the Gita. It appears there. None of that comes in there in between. This is not. You need to really, unknot it. And some of them, we don't even know what is the knotted shloka. There is so much of complex it is. We have not yet, deciphered which one. The story goes as this. For that, Ganesha needs a pen. Right? He needs a pen. Now, what is that he is going to use as a pen to write that? Because imagine if he takes a pencil, he has to write lakh and 8,000 shlokas he has to write. In that lakh and 8,000 shlokas, which pencil will survive? You can't go on writing like that. So he needs a pen to write. And as I said, such a fantastic book. It's a great opportunity for me to serve the world. I break my tusk and use that as a pen to write. This will go on and on and on. I can go on writing, doesn't matter. Vyasa may get exhausted, but my pen will never get exhausted. It will go on. For the welfare, to produce something valuable to the world, this man is capable of willing to lose that which he is preciously maintaining. What is most precious to that elephant is its tongue, is the tusk that it carries. He is willing to sacrifice that which he is holding as his pride, which is precious to him, for producing something valuable to the world. That's why this Mahabharata is considered as the fifth Veda. There is not a single scenario in the world you can think of which is new. All character possibilities, all situation possibilities, all dilemma possibilities, all sacrifice possibilities, everything is there in Mahabharata. One book. Magic is there. You think of astronomy is there. You think of economics, it is there. You think of politics, it is there. You think of science, it is there. You think of this is there. Everything is there in that one story. All topics, all subjects, all scenarios, all life situations, all character possibilities. Everything you find in Mahabharata. And every character that is appearing in Mahabharata is connected to the main story. There is not a single scene in Mahabharata story which is hanging independently. Say, for example, in Ramayana, the character Sabari, I don't know how many of you have known, that old lady who was waiting for Rama, or the character of Guha, right, the hunter. Imagine that character is not there in Ramayana. Will it make any difference to Ramayana story? I'll give one more character. Imagine Vali episode is not there in Ramayana. Is there any loss to Ramayana story? Imagine Rama searching for Sita. He comes and meets Hanuman. Through Hanuman, he gets introduced to Sugriva, and Sugriva was the king. And Sugriva offers to help Rama. and he is helping Rama. Vali episode itself is not there, let's say. Rama says, hey, don't worry, man. Vali is the problem. No, anyway, I have to run away from this place. So I will give you protection. If Vali comes and attacks you, I will kill Vali. You don't have to worry about it. Now let's go in search of Sita. And Sugriva, Hanuman, Jamwan, other fellows who are all there along with Sugriva, go in search of Sita. Those people go and fight Ravana, bring back Sita. Vali never comes into the picture at all. Will it make any difference to Ramayana story? Strictly speaking, it has no difference. It will not make any difference to Ramayana story. In Mahabharata, you will never be able to figure out one character, isolated and study. You pull out one scene, any one of them would have taken any one decision different from what they have. Right? The whole Mahabharata story would have been very different. Main character or one scene characters. It just comes only for one scene. He takes a different decision, let's say. Entire Mahabharata would be different. Would have changed the course of the whole story after that. Amazing story. Intricacy is there. Fascinating it is. To provide such a book, Ganesha says, if something is going to add value to the world, I'm willing to forego what is precious to me. I can make myself look ugly. Doesn't matter. But let me be part of something valuable to the world. That's the man of perfection. Make himself ugly and serves the world. That is what Ganesha is breaking the tusk. This is for a devotional type of people. Then there is an intellectual type. Intellectual type views the whole thing from a different angle. They don't go through all the stories. The intellectual type will not be inspired by this. Intellectual type gets inspiration from a different angle. There they say the two tusks represent the opposites, pair. It's a pair. The perfection in a human is to break the pairs of opposites and go beyond them. There is no swinging between the opposites for these people. Now, a layman would go through that opposite. He's stuck between those two opposites, what is known as dvandvas, pairs of opposites. Good, bad, right, wrong, pleasure, pain, joy, sorrow, honor, dishonor, birth, death, growth, decay, profit, loss, happiness, unhappiness, joy, sorrow, all this, opposites. You see, those who you are close to, they're the people with whom you fight maximum. Have you ever realized? You fight only with people who is close to you, who you love the most. The one who you are loving is the one who you will fight also more. This is called opposite. Now, an ordinary person is one who lives in this extremes, swinging from one end to the other end. He is swinging. Whole life is just, pendulum swinging from one end to the other end, this end to that end to this end. This keeps on This oscillation keeps happening to an ordinary person. Perfection in human is to go beyond the opposites. You don't swing to the opposites. The only difference between all of us is the length of the thread. That's about it. See, some of us have got a big length. Some may be having a shorter, but the case is there the same for everyone. The swing is there. Depends on how far you go, it depends on how lengthy the rope is. Meaning the length of your desires. That's about it. Involvement and attachment. If your attachment is more, then you swing to the extreme more. This is what we call, mood swing. Swing. One day you look like you are going to conquer the whole world. Next day you wake up and you are how? Yeah, I don't know why I'm alive. One day you wake up like this, and one day you wake up like this. Why is it, sir? That's the swing. A man of perfection is one who has crossed these pairs of opposites, dvandvas. That is represented by Ganesha breaking the tusk on his own, not somebody else. He broke it. The breaking of the tusk is a classic one. Now, you see that Ganesha, that form of Ganesha, if you see, he has a big belly, right? Now, big belly is not beer, okay? Our fellows, think only of that. I've seen one fellow, I can never forget. He gets into the car, driver's seat, and the steering wheel is touching his stomach. The steering wheel. So he couldn't use that car, so he had to change the car. I asked him, no, new car? He said, yeah, sir, but that car is not, I'm not able to fit into the car. Because the steering comes and hits. He would have pulled it back, but still it is that pot belly. Okay. It's not because of indulgence, please. The belly indicates there is a capacity to digest. He can digest all experiences. The stomach is supposed to be digesting whatever you put inside. All that is put inside is burnt. That's the stomach. Now, Ganesha having a huge stomach is just a representation. See, that's why that form in the in the religious significance, if you take, Ganesha form has all aspects of life possibilities. See, you look at that form of Ganesha, it's divine from one side. It is Deva. And he is having a short legs. You see him, his legs are very small, not proportional. It's this, disproportionate. There is a description for man, according to the Silpa Sastra. There is a way a man should be. He should be having broad shoulders and he should have long hands. His, the portion of the upper body and the lower body, the legs, should be in that proportion. Long legs is for women, not for men. Nor it should be short. It should neither be short nor long. But the hands should be long for men. See, if he is standing, there is a There are rules they have. Samundrika Lakshana, they say. There is a Lakshana for men, there is a Lakshana for women. Now, if you see Ganesha, one form of one way you look at him, one aspect of him is Deva form. Another aspect of him, you see, he is animal form. Another aspect of him, you see human form. Another aspect of him, you see, it is that Yaksha form, demigods. Gods, demigods, human, animal. All four is covered in Ganesha form. The demigod form description is short legs. The demigods, the Yakshas and those type of people, Ganas and all that. There is a jati there is. There is a species, particular species are there. That Gana species, they're supposed to be demigods. What is their things? These Yakshas and these Ganas, all those people, they are like that. Their description is what, sir? All they will have short legs. So Ganesha form, in one form, he has all four. He covers all life forms. Very interesting one. If you see Ganesha, he would be sitting. In that sitting posture, you will find a lot of gods also in that same posture. Will be 1 foot hanging down, 1 foot bent. Only 1 foot is hanging, touching the ground. Another foot is lifted up, unfolded. What is that, sir? Perfect human is one who has that ability to have one aspect of his personality tuned to the self. Another aspect of personality is in contact with the world. See, you should have both. Our problem is you contact the world, forget the self. You contact the self, you forget the world. That's not the most ideal situation. The best position where you can be is you are in contact with the world, also you are in contact with the self. So you have the perfect balance of inner and outer. The inner is represented by the folded leg, the outer is represented by the leg touching the ground. Has both this perfection. When you look down, you find a lot of this jewels and a lot of food items and all will be there. Fruits and sweets, everything around Ganesha. And you will find one rat. There's a rat also standing. That rat is supposed to be the vehicle of Ganesha. Very funny fellow. Huge elephant is traveling in. It's like circus. You see, jumbo circus we have. Circus. An elephant will go in a cycle rickshaw. You pedaling the cycle rickshaw and go. It's fun to see. If he sits there, cycle rickshaw will jump off. That's the weight. Here it's not even cycle rickshaw. Here it is what? Mouse. The rat is there. On the rat, he has to travel. He looks huge. but he is weightless. He is huge, Ganesha, but even a rat can carry him effortlessly. Now, that is his beauty. The rat represents again two aspects: one devotional side, another one is intellectual side. The devotional type see what is that rat? Who is that rat? If you see all these gods, every god's birth happens to kill some Rakshasa or some Asura. See, some Rakshasa Asura would have been born. To kill that one fellow, these gods also have to take birth in that particular way. So there was one fellow called this Mushika, this fellow. Such a terror he was. No gods were able to fight him. They didn't know what to do. So they had to kill this fellow. How to kill him? Ganesha has to appear for that. That's how Ganesha is born. The birth of Ganesha is for that purpose. It's all story, okay? Now, if you see Rama, Krishna and all these fellows, they are born. What did they do? Vishnu, he'll come, he'll kill, go back. Again, some other Asura will come. Again, he has to be taking birth. Some Rakshasa will come. He has to take birth. And then again, what? Kill, go back. Kill, go back. Kill, go back. Kill, go back. But Ganesha is very different from all these people, all other gods. What is so peculiar about Ganesha is he did not kill that Asura. He transformed that Asura. That's all. He did not kill him. And all these devas got totally confused. They said, you are supposed to kill him. He said, hey, what is your problem? He is causing trouble to you. Why he is causing trouble is because of his qualities. I have destroyed the qualities. I need not destroy that man. That is different God. The first God to ever conceive of doing something like that. Only then it occurred to even Vishnu. He said, yeah, possible, man. We should try at least once like that in my life. That's how Vishnu attempted that with Mahabali. He did not kill Mahabali. With all other asuras, he had to kill. Ravana has to kill, Hiranyaksha has to kill, Hiranyakashipu has to kill. This all these Rakshasas, asuras, they have to kill all other gods. Ganesha is the first god who gave a possibility to those people that there is no need to kill that person. You have to transform him. Person need not be killed. Kill that quality in him. Transform him. That compassion. That is true, blessing. True benediction. True blessing of a man is not to kill him, to transform him. That transformed fellow is the rat. He said, I will be there with you always. Ganesha said, yes, you are most welcome. So wherever I go, wherever you have Ganesha worship, you have to have the rat also. Even in the idols that we create, we have to make this fellow also. So any worship you are doing to Ganesha, you are worshipping this man along with it. So this Rakshasa is also getting worshipped. How? Because of the transformation. The touch of Ganesha, that's all he did. He just touched him with his feet. That's why the feet is so important for us. In our tradition, God means they say, first thing they see is the feet. You know, the feet has tremendous power, more than the God himself. No other part of God is so powerful as his feet. So that is how they do. The touch, the sparsha of Ganesha's feet transformed that fellow, and he became rat. In fact, he wants to escape. You know, he took the form of a rat and he tried to escape. You know, hiding. So Ganesha went and touched him. In that touch, he transformed. He became immortal. The transformation happened. This is Ganesha. This is devotional thing. Then again, there is an intellectual aspect to it. Intellectual aspect, we say, the rat represents the desires of the mind. Now, the mind has desires for all the wealth and the sweets of the world. The laddu, you say. You see that all spread around. And if you see that picture, you'll find the rat holding that laddu in its hands, but looking to Ganesha, as though it is waiting for Ganesha's permission, seeking his permission to eat it. That is the state of a man of perfection. He will hold that. It's not that he's going to drop this. It's not that he's not going to contact it. He will contact. He will enjoy the things of the world. But how that enjoyment will be done, how the contact will be done, so after getting the permission from his buddhi, his wisdom. If Ganesha says okay, then he will eat. Till he says okay, he will not eat it. He will just hold it. He will keep it. It's an amazing situation. You are keeping in your hands, but you are not eating it. Tremendous power it is. Those who are interested can check this. It's one of the very, very popular, test they have done. Marshmallow test. You can check it out in the net. You'll find. They had, few kids they brought. Small kids, brought to the testing room. They just ask you questions to the child, what is your father's name? What is your mother's name? Which school you are studying? What standard you are doing? What is your teacher name? Who is your best friend? Something like that they'll be asking. In between, what they do is the questioner will get a call and they will go out of the room. When they're going out from the room, they'll tell the child, look here, you are having a marshmallow in front of you. If you want to have it, you can have it. Not that you should not eat. If you don't eat till I come back, I'll give you 2. If you want to have, you can have. You'll get only 1. If you are not eating it, when I come back, if you have not eaten that, then you will get 2. For a child, even for adults also. To hold that is not easy. And you have to see that video, hilarious one. What all they do, these kids, they have a secret camera to watch what the child is doing. Fascinating to see this. Some of them slowly look around. They don't go and come back immediately. They just be there outside, waiting about 2-3 minutes. Fascinating to see what all they do. A fellow takes that and licks it and puts it back. Something they do that. And one child, takes half and puts it back. One fellow holds on, looking at it, looking at it, looking at it, looking at it, playing with that. And what was a fascinating one they found was they did the study, they took the statistics of those kids, they observed the child's growth. After about 40 years, they saw where the child is. Fascinating. They found all the kids who had not eaten that marshmallow being more successful and happy in their life. Opposite is all those kids who ate that marshmallow is what they call as delaying your gratification. The capacity to delay the gratification. You see, more you delay, greater. That's what Vedanta says. Abstinence is pleasure. Pleasure is not in contact. The pleasure is in abstinence. You must have the capacity to abstain to enjoy the pleasure, for which your desires should be under the suzerainty of your intellect. That is a human perfection. Now, the rat is the best example for that because it's such a tiny animal. You have to search for the mouth of that rat. But he can destroy food grains just like that. Who destroys the godowns? You see, rats can finish off. And they will not eat full. Little here, little there, break there, and they steal, they hoard to such an extent where they forget what is hoarded. And don't look at rats and all that. Go and stand in front of the mirror. You will see the rat. How many things are there with you? You yourself don't know. What does it say? All that you have to do is what? How many saris you have? Can you tell the count? Finished. Do you have that idea of how much is there? Expiry date medicines people have in the house. It's fascinating to see. Medicines all expired. Then why are you keeping it? Let it be there. I've seen, the tiger bomb, you get this. It's empty. That box is empty. Then why are you keeping it? Let it be there. Allah rat. Hoarding and forgetting. Hoarding and forgetting. Hoarding and hoarding and hoarding. This is the rat. That sort of a rat to keep something in its hands and not eating it. You see, not indulging in that contact is the perfect mastery of human perfection. Vashehi yasyendriyani tasya prajna pratishtita, he says in the Gita. Who is a sthita prajna? Says, not the other thing. The one who has perfect suzerainty over his indriyas, his senses. That is a human perfection. Represented by the rat. The rat holding the sweet, holding that laddu, beautiful thing. Holding it, but not eating. Taking permission as it were. And Ganesha he has never given for permission actually. Perennially waiting for Ganesha to give permission. That's not the rat behavior at all actually. The rat also got transformed. That is the power of a man of wisdom. That is perfection in human. The whole picturization of Ganesha, if you see, apart from, I've not gone in detailed stories and all that. There is a separate Purana is there to tell the story of Ganesha. Beautiful stories with all the stories and the names and these things. That's a separate study by itself. You have to do, but it's not necessary. I'm just giving you an idea. This is more than sufficient for you to visualize it. For you to visualize that picturization helps. See, so you keep the picture. When you see the picture, instantly all these ideas comes to you. And what is he holding in his hands, you see, is also another beauty. He has this Ankusha and Pasha. Both he has in his hands. Beautiful one. Ankusha is that, the tiny stick, with that sharp edge. The stick. You would find, all this when, controlling the elephant they carry. Elephant is a beautiful animal. You will never find an animal. We have seen, if you see, they'll transport, elephant from one place to another place, move it one place to another place, and they have to tie. Now, to tie that elephant, there will be a chain, a steel chain, they'll carry. It is so heavy. You find the elephant carrying that and giving it to this fellow to tie because it's too heavy. This man cannot carry that. So what they do is they tell the elephant will take that. Elephant takes that chain to chain itself. It is beautiful one. Now that's why we have Ganesha as a leader. He is the leader. You want to have leadership. Ganesha is a perfect picture of a leader. Management also, if you see, you can view Ganesha as a management expert. Some of them, they say he is actually, IT company. He must be working in IT company, they say. A lot of resemblance is there. Very IT fellows and Ganesha. But better than that is the leadership of it, the quality of Ganesha is to have that which controls him. He carries that and gives it in the hands of his fellow. Okay, you control it. This Ankusha is with which this man is controlling that elephant. Who is carrying it, sir? Ganesha himself is carrying it. You find that in elephants also. They carry that chain, that iron, that steel one is so solid. It's difficult for him. It carries and gives it to him. And then this fellow goes and ties that, puts it across and ties it. Self-control. Say, self-control. This is self-control. You carry your own things. That leader is one who must have the capacity to serve, sacrifice. If you cannot sacrifice, if you are not willing to serve for the welfare of, to produce something valuable to the corporate, to the company, to the society, I am willing to make myself look ugly. A leader. If you cannot do that, then you are not a leader. Now, today we want everyone to decorate me. The whole society should be there to decorate me. I am not willing to lose anything for the society. To teach something to the world, I am willing to reduce myself. That is Vishwamitra. Is it not? Vishwamitra. Vishwa means world. Mitra means friend. Universal friend. He is a friend of the whole universe. No other Rishi would have ever done what he has done. No rishi would have had that courage. But this man had the courage to do something. What is it, sir? Vishwamitra fell for Menaka. When Menaka came and danced in front of Vishwamitra, Vishwamitra fell for her. That shows, how immature we are. Spiritual immaturity. That means you have never attempted to become spiritual. That's all it means. If you have done a little spiritual effort, you know what that means. This man had the capacity to create a universe. He created a heaven. You think he is going to fall for one lady, comes and dances in front of him? Then what is he trying to do that? That is what Vishwamitra is. Who is a friend? Ask that question to yourself. Who is a friend? Who has that willingness? He could even risk the friendship for the friend. That's called a friend. I repeat, a friend is one who puts a risk. His friendship he puts at a risk for helping the friend. Friendship. Now, a spiritual man can afford to lose anything, but not his reputation. You know that? That they can't afford to. A teacher, a master, a guru is one who can afford to lose anything, but not his moral character. If the moral character were to be challenged, is shaken, doesn't matter what he is going to teach, world will not take it. World will reject it. At least to do that, he has to put up a show of having a high moral character, if not really having it. At least he has to demonstrate. Secretly, you can do whatever you want. At my house, I can keep sitting and watching, Netflix and all those things. But the moment any one of you come, immediately I have to change the channel to Asta, Sanskar channel. Immediately I have to change Asta. At least Animal Planet. If not all these things, at least Animal Planet layer. That you will not mind. If I'm sitting and watching, Netflix, you say, nah, sir, Netflix, sir. And then I tell you, don't get involved. Don't get attached. Don't waste your time. Invest your time properly. Don't lose your time on all these local things, all gossips. Again, now you would say what? Now, how can, it doesn't go together. Therefore, even if I want to watch all those things, I should watch secretly, not in front of you. Right? Because you can't afford to take the chance. Now, Vishwamitra took a chance here of what? Such a big risk. No one would risk like that. World to be questioning his very spiritual. Even today, people are criticizing him for it. How can he do that? Such a fellow. You must have the capacity to do that. That Ganesha had the power. They have that quality. Even if it means to reduce myself, doesn't matter. I'm doing it for the benefit of the world. Now, we also reduce ourselves. Where? If I'm going to get something out of it, then there is no ego and all that. That is why politicians will never have any ego. If you want to find egoless personalities, politician, no ego at all actually. There's no shame. Hey, how can that fellow, he's a chore, he's this and all he says. Election time he says we are alliance. We are together. One side. No shame, nothing there. Why? Because in politics, you cannot be like that. That is not possible in politics. Second one, business. You have ego, in 6 months, you will shut down your company. Not possible. Ego, you cannot run your big business. Got to be egoless. Same thing here. Wherever there is a stake involved, you become egoless, automatic. There's no ego you have in that field, in that area. In your area where whatever the stake is, I'm just giving 2 examples. Okay, there is a stake involved. I want to get my daughter married. Then what I'll do is egoless. There's a stake involved. When there is no stake involved, ego. When it comes to unselfish ideals, there is no stake involved. In all selfish areas, there is a stake involved. Therefore, you people will look far more egoless. That's what a lot of people get confused. In spiritual places, people look more arrogant and egoistic. You see, politics is more there. Any ashram you go, there is tremendous politics. You will not find a single ashram in the world without politics, without ego. Tremendous ego you will find there. And you go to your company, you people work with such a fantastic team effort. Therefore, you believe what? It is better to be working in a company rather than ashram people. Ashram people are bad. We are far better. Our Indian cricket team looks far better compared to this, because there's a team effort. Here, there is no team effort here. There is a team effort. This team effort is not because you are more evolved place, because there is a stake involved for everyone. You see, you have to be. There's no option you have. The moment you come here, first step is what? There's no stake involved. So obviously what will happen? All the suppressed ego will find its expression. Where there is no stake involved to be sacrificial, that is what Ganesha is. That is what human perfection is. Where there is no stake of mind. I am egoless. Wherever there is a stake, we are all egoless. In any field. Look at yourself. In any area. Grandchild not well. Suddenly I will become egoless. I will contact anyone. I will call all those people possible who can help me. I will go and seek. I would not mind. Where there is no stake involved, I will not bother. I'll say, oh what? I will move out. It's not connected to me. You see, my ego I can keep aside. Your capacity to keep aside your ego in the field where there is no benefit for you. There is no stake involved. To keep aside your ego is human perfection. That's what Ganesha is. The central idea. What is so inspiring is that the capacity to sacrifice, the capacity to lose something for the benefit of the world, where there is zero value addition of Ganesha. It is not Vyasa is going to do a copyright royalty and then 1% of royalty, Ganesha going to get nothing. To write that book, to break that tusk, fascinating one. You need to understand the pride, how much pride it carries. So precious it is for it. He is willing to lose it permanently. It's a permanent deformity. It's not that temporary it is. It's not like that. It is a permanent deformity for him. Perennially, Ganesha is sitting with a broken tusk. It's not that after that, some surgery is being done and then, another one is fixed. Nothing of that. Nothing they have done. No artificial also they have done. Even today, perennially looking ugly. He says, doesn't matter. I'm willing to take that. That is a human perfection. That's what we should aspire to. That idea to reinforce, we have the picturization. That's all. That's how you will find in all the gods. Every god's picturization depicts a particular facet, one aspect or few aspects of human perfection possibility. The same will go with reference to Subramanya, the same will go to Shiva, the same will go to Vishnu, the same will go to Rama, same will go to Krishna, same will go to Linga, same will go to this, same will go to all gods, all idols. Every idol is just a picturization of perfection from a particular angle. All aspects so beautifully covering up. Every fiber of it is connecting. Every aspect of Ganesha covering the perfection. Completeness to it is there. That's why it is Purna. That's why he has that Modaka also. Purna is there inside. That Ganesha carries that Purnam inside. That fullness is there inside him. Outside is different. Outside is just, why eat one? Just there, that's it. But inside is that juicy sweet, Purnam. He carries it. Every aspect. That's why Ganesha is worshipped first. Wherever we go, we worship Ganesha. Because every aspect of him reminds us of the goal, where we have to reach. Aspire to become at least one aspect of one dimension of Ganesha. If nothing is there, at least keep the mouth shut, like Ganesha. Don't go on all the time. At least that you can try. You see, like that. Every aspect of it, Ganesha is pointing to that perfection possibilities. High ideal. Keep that thought running. Best thing is, I recommend this to see that. This is what I do. Every month, I used to keep one picture. Very. That's why we had variety. Because so many things, gives a possibility to associate from various angles. You can associate with those things in various angles. So keep that picture and keep looking at it. It's beautiful. The best is better than a picture is an idol. To have that, the idol is much better. The picture, become a painter and this and all will come in. You can't imagine much on it. You see, in an idol, you can't bring out so much. In picturization, in painting, when they do that, the photograph and all, if you see, I'm not fond of that. I prefer, the idols. The idol has, because you can pose your imaginations on that. But in the picture, it is more difficult. Your imagination is, lost much. Like when you read, those who have known, they would understand. You read Harry Potter and you see that movie Harry Potter. Right? See, Ramayana reading Ramayana had a fascinating impression than watching the Ramayana serial. In Ramayana serial, you can't imagine Rama. You can't imagine Hanuman. You can't imagine Sita. You can't imagine, like Lakshmana, Ravana. You can't imagine, like, you can't imagine Sita. You can't imagine, like, Lakshmana, Ravana. You can't imagine, like, you can't imagine Hanuman. You can't imagine Sita. You can't imagine Hanuman. You can't imagine Sita. You can't imagine, like, Lakshmana, Ravana. You can't imagine Ravana. Now, whenever I used to read, I would read, Ramayana, Mahabharata with that imagination. Now, in that imagination that I had, to see Dara Singh as, Hanuman, people were really appreciating it. No doubt about it. But somehow, I couldn't connect. I felt, something wrong with me. Small, I told those people, Sita looks, that Deepika, that lady who did that, Sita, she's not beautiful at all. Draupadi is even worse, actually. Not. It can't, your imagination of Sita when you read, the descriptions is there given. You imagine. In that imagination, you are participating. When you are watching a TV serial, you are not participating. You are a spectator. You are a mute spectator. You see and forget. I say Bahubali better than Ramayana. The people say Ramayana is superb. Sir. I say Bahubali better. Anyway, imagination is also not there. Is also not. Both are useless actually. Visualization is your thinking. Remember, it is your participation that is more important than being a spectator. Don't just sit as a spectator in life. Be a participant. You participate in life. Don't be a mute spectator. When you when you see a picture, it doesn't give that impact. When you with that idol, you can superimpose your own things. You posit them. In that positing, you are participating in it. Your visualization comes in. Otherwise, there's no visualization. And doesn't make any difference. And it's a different one. So these gods, it's better to have idol than pictures. Because pictures don't give that impact. This is my personal one. It's my opinion. Right? I'm not saying it should be the case for everybody, but it is my personal opinion that's about it. So you can take it, you need not. But the ideas are different. So, but rule is this: you have to participate. For that, I found idols. Any idol doesn't matter. It need not be having the best of carving beauty and all that. It is not necessary actually. Nor is it necessary that it should be from sandalwood or rosewood. Which Ganesha would be better. Stone will do in fact. Clay idol is more than sufficient. You don't need anything more than that. But your participation should be the case. Mull over this as you keep seeing it. That's how you should participate, relate to those idols. Then it will help you to grow spiritual. Right? See you next time. Hari Om.